Hey guys, welcome back. My name's Stu, and this is Chamber Lake for Rollercoaster Tycoon Classic. Another scenario from Blazing Empire HD. This one was suggested by Johnny, so thank you very much to Johnny for suggesting it. A rather big lake is the perfect spot for a theme park. Your objective to have at least 1,300 guests in your park at the end of October year 2 with a park rating of at least 600. So Johnny did say it's not that challenging of a scenario. But it's kind of like Leafy Lake, and yeah, I guess it kind of is. Okay, so we are charging for entry. So that's 2 in a row now we're charging for entry, and we've just done a load of scenarios where we had free entry and we were charging for rides. So you do have to approach these differently, otherwise you will run out of money very quickly. With pay entry parks, you really want to focus on cheap and cheerful rides, and then with pay, when you pay in per ride, you can then afford to go bigger and better. But we will be focusing on cheap and cheerful, definitely. Let's have a look what rides we've got. We've got a couple of transport rides, good selection of gentle rides, great selection of coasters, great selection of thrill rides, water rides, loads of shops. We've got toilet kiosk, cash machine. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. As long as you've got more than 4 different types of food and drink, then you haven't got to worry about worst food awards. So that's great. Do you know, I think I'll just leave it as it is. We normally target something, but considering we've got so much, let's just leave it as it is. See what happens. Okay, so I don't like the path the way it is. It's a bit busy for my liking. In real life, it would be fine, but in this game, the guest AI and the staff AI is just not going to be able to handle a path this complicated, and you are going to get guests that are lost and stuck. So there's 2 choices. What we can do is we can either put down signs and then do that to make them no entry signs, so then guests can't walk further. Staff can, guests can't. Or we can delete the paths back to the start and then build up as we go along. Because the thing is, we don't want guests wandering up there if all our rides and shops are down here, because they're not going to be giving us any more extra cash. And they're just going to get lost, and we're going to get bad ratings and things like that. So yeah, I think what we're going to do, get rid of the paths. We'll have a nice little park down here, and then we'll expand outwards. I'm going to focus on flat rides to begin with and just see what happens. April year 1, we've got 76 guests in the park. They're more than happy to pay my entrance fee, which is £40. You guys should know that by now. That's what I normally set it at. So we come in, we got a little 4x4 plaza with the kiosk, toilets, sunglasses stall, and a cash machine. We've got a couple of pirate ships just here onto the water. Bartholomew Roberts, Welsh pirate, better known as Black Bart or Bardi the in Welsh. And then we've got Dirty Racing. So I named this after a very, very fun top-down driving game that I used to love playing on the Game Boy. And then just down here is Mouse Tales. This story of Mouse Tales, it's about a mouse that stows away on a pirate ship and then dreams of becoming a race car driver. There you go. We've tied in that area there. And then just over here, then we've got golden oldies down here, these vintage cars. So what I've done for both of these, and I'll show you these ones as well. There you go. Wait for full load, but then I've got the maximum waiting time down on 0. So it's just pumping them out. It comes in, they get on. If there's no one there, it'll just send the car around empty. It's fine. That way, then you've never got a massive queue of cars waiting to go. Otherwise, what will happen is you'll get guests stuck at the back of the train, and by train, I mean a train of cars, and they'll be wanting to get out. We've got a haunted house and a carousel just there, or merry-go-round. Yes, we are gradually expanding up, making some good cash off the entrance. Yes, I'm just going to carry on doing this. I think it's probably about time we looked at our first coaster. Now, a park like this, I'd imagine, would be having very small coasters, like maybe the sort of coasters they might buy off a carny or something, you know, like a fair, a second-hand one or something. But we'll see what we can do. I've got some ideas. Let's just give it a go. We'll see how it turns out. October, year one, almost 800 guests in the park. We need 1,300, so only 500 to go then. So there you go. How about this then? A Wooden Wild Mine Ride with the generic name of Mine Coaster. That's what I was on about when I said the sort of coaster that they might buy secondhand off a fair or something. And yeah, guests loving it. And then just here, then we've used a little bit of the terrain to help with the hill, and then just goes up and then down into the splash. Decent stats. Guests loving it. And I've been decorating as well. So just putting a little bit of scenery around the place. Nothing too over the top, but it really does help, makes it look cool. Again, done it on over here. Got a little indoor section as well. Annoying thing with these doors is that they look like they're not in line, but I'm sure they are. Anyway, let's not focus on that. And then I really like the way this junior coaster turned out. Is it going to go? Is it going to go? So we've got a booster, and I've got a lift hill, but we probably won't need the lift hill. And it's going to rain now to spoil the video. But anyway, it comes up, goes up, and then down, and then spins around and goes up. And we've got a little trick track one way, and then a little trick track the other way, and then a little hill and back, and that allows the paths to go underneath. I really like the look of that coaster. I'm really happy with the way that turned out. Check out the stats. Lumberjack, decent stats on that. Yes, like I was saying, you don't need to go overboard with parks like this when you pay entry. You want to go cheap and cheerful with the rides. Now, if I spend 5,000 on a junior coaster, I'm going to get the same amount of guests coming into the parks if I spent 20,000 on a junior coaster. Whereas the sensible option would be to build 5,000 coasters. But anyway, so we're going to continue building up this way, continue building up that way, expanding, adding rides here and there. We've got tons of cash. We don't need a huge amount of guests. One thing I am mindful of is overcrowding. So if it looks like we're going to get an issue with overcrowding, I could build around, complete the loop around the lake. That way then a lot of guests will start wandering up from down here and they'll go up to the top. The only drawback to that is we are going to get guests getting lost and stuck. Because they're going to be over here and they're going to want to ride over here and they won't be able to get to it. So it's going to fry their tiny little minds. But it's okay. It's okay. We've been there before. We've done it. We know how to do it. We know how to solve it. October year 2, we've got 1,349 guests in a park. We only need 1,300. The rating is up on maximum, so we are going to pass the scenario. And how dare they? How dare they give me the most confusing park layout award? There was like 3 guests or something dumb like that complaining about something. I don't know, like they couldn't find something. I don't know. Anyway, let's not worry about that. It doesn't really matter at the moment. A negative award like that, it will reduce the amount of guests that will spawn. But we've already passed the number that we need to, so it's fine. Just over here then, we've got a looping coaster and a rotor drop, and it's going to rain again. and spoil my video. So this one, it launches up, then it comes back, up and over the path, loop, into the back spike, down through the photo section, loop, and then back. And we've got a rotor drop just there, nothing too high because we don't want sick everywhere. And anything too high, I think it'll look just out of place with the sort of park that this is, the sort of size of it is. I've said before, I'm not too interested in realism, but when things look out of place, they can be a bit weird. So I built a train just over here that goes sort of around the outskirts of this area, and I had in mind building a coaster in the middle. So we've got the chamber choo-choo. Oh, that's dumb. I changed it. I thought, do you know what? I thought I'd named the train, and then when I went to see it, it didn't. So I must have accidentally renamed the park. That was a bit dumb of me. Okay, so yeah, decent excitement on that. Just goes round like that. Look at the colours. It's like Thomas and Annie and Clarabelle style colours. But it's not. It's definitely not modelled after that train, and it's not called that train. So, Britt Allcroft, you get your lawyers back. And then just here, then we've got the Chamber Lake Witch. So, just imagine that there might be stories from this park, this part of the world, where maybe there'll be a witch lives. Maybe this is their house up there. I don't know. Just made it up. It's not real. Just made it up. And then at the back then, because we completed the loop, which is why we won that negative award. And now I was happy with the way the junior coaster turned out. I'm really happy with the way this coaster turned out. We've got a wooden coaster. It's called Jackalope. So it comes out and then goes up the chain lift, drops down through the photo section, up, bends back over the chain lift, down, back up over the path, and then we got a double down, and then we got a little turnaround and back, and then a brake run. So yeah, I think it just turned out really well. I built the path first, and then had to work this into the space that was left. But despite that, I think it's turned out really well. I mean, the whole park has, to be honest. Whole park looks great, if I do say so. The only downside is that since it's only a 2-year scenario, we do have a lot of empty space, which does leave me to wonder, maybe after completing the park, if we should carry on and just fill up the empty space. I reckon 1 more year should probably do it. And we've done it. Stew! Fantastic. So that's the scenario completed then, but it's not the end of the video. I'm going to continue playing, and I'll see you probably at the end of the next year. It's just stopped raining, so hopefully it won't rain again before I finish showing you what I've done. And I've been very busy the last year. Okay, so moving up this side then, we've got a multi-dimensional coaster, and I've got a tutorial for this one in the tutorial section. It's just a basic loop, got it set to 7 circuits, and it rocks back and forth, and it tricks it into thinking it's being through an inversion because there's 2 quarter loops, one at the front, one at the back, and yeah, so somehow at the end of it, it makes it think like it's done 3 inversions. Cool, good stats on that. Cover. So we've gone witchy, but I don't know how, but we have. Okay, just over here, we've got the Salem spinner, top spin there. And we've got a couple of inverted swinging ships just there. And we've got a side friction coaster there, rickety racer. decent stats on that. In the middle, we've got a launch tower called Updog. Good stats on that. Looks really good in the middle there, I think. Got fences as well. Been really busy the last month in particular, placing all the fences around the place. We've got a powered mine train just here. Maniac Miner. Good stats on that one. I'll show you all these coasters in the outro. Don't worry about that. And then just over here then, yeah, we showed you this bit by here, and then the path was in the way, so I raised it up slightly, and we've got a vertical drop coaster just here, holding brake, drops down 2 loops, and then we've got like a wave turn underneath the raised platform, a few twists and turns, and then back to the station. So that's 4 coasters and 3 flat rides in the last year, plus a couple of shops and a load of fences. Gone around the whole park, adding fences where they were missing. And I think I think it's turned out really well. I do like the way the park looks. I don't think anything's out of place. I think I'm not like a massive fan of realism in the game. After all, it is a game. But I like things where they don't sort of stand out. I mean, sometimes I do things that look a bit odd, but I think everything in this park just it feels right, you know, it looks right, it feels right. Yeah, so I think the suspended coaster was probably the first big coaster that we did. And then after that, then we did the best custom design rides. Yes, I thought so. I agree with that wholeheartedly. Didn't agree with the most confusing layout award, but I thoroughly agree with that award. I think the wooden coasters turned out really good. So a jackalope is a mythical creature from North America. It's like a cross between an antelope and a jackrabbit. So it's got basically a rabbit with antlers. I saw it on a video the other day, and then I remembered the what's that coaster in America with the double down? It's called something like, is it Jackrabbit or something? And then so that's what gave me the idea for this. Yeah, but I think it's all turned out really well. I've got to remember where I finished off because this is my second time recording this outro. I didn't have my headset connected the last time, and I think it was on the side friction, so we'll find that again. Yeah, cool. So this was Chamber Park, another scenario from Blazing Empire HD. I will put the download link for the rctgo.com page on the video description for you to click through and download this if you want to play it. This scenario was suggested by Johnny, so thank you very much, Johnny, and thank you very much, Blaze, once again for creating the scenario. And for all you guys watching, thank you very much as well, and I will see you on the next one. Bye!